Neat's Foot Oil, $3. You can find it at any farm supply store, any leather goods shop, any feed store across America, $3. And with that $3 bottle, you can permanently restore cracked, dead, shrunken, peeling leather that a professional restoration service would charge you anywhere from $500 to $8,000 to fix. Your cracked leather couch that you were about to haul to the curb, your car seats that look like the surface of the desert after a drought, your leather jacket that cost you $400 and now looks like it spent a decade in a dumpster. All of it restored, permanently, for $3. They didn't hide this because it fails. They hid it because it works too well. And I need you to understand what I mean by that before we go any further. Because this is not about one product or one company. This is about an entire industry, a leather care industry worth over $4 billion annually in the United States alone, that built its entire business model on making sure you never found out that the solution to dyeing leather has been sitting in farm supply stores for over 150 years. They didn't hide this from you accidentally. They hid it deliberately, systematically, and expensively. They funded magazine articles. They paid for sponsored content. They trained retail staff to point you toward $40 conditioners and $80 restoration kits. And every single year that you didn't know about Neat's Foot Oil, you spent money you did not have to spend. That ends today. This channel is a vault. Every video in here is a direct assault on the idea that you need an expensive branded product or a professional service to maintain your home, your car, and your property. We dig up the knowledge that industries have buried, the cheap solutions, the old methods, the grocery store and farm store ingredients that have been working perfectly for over a century, and we hand them directly to you. No sponsorships, no affiliate deals with the companies trying to sell you overpriced garbage. Just the truth, straight to your face. If you want to stop wasting money on industry lies, subscribe and hit the bell, because what I'm about to show you today is just the beginning. Now let's go back. Because this story starts a long time ago, and it starts in a place you probably wouldn't expect. The year is 1906. We are in the American West, specifically the cattle ranching territories of Texas and New Mexico, where leather was not a luxury. It was survival equipment: saddles, bridles, boots, gun holsters, work gloves. Everything a working ranch hand depended on to stay alive was made of leather. And leather in that environment took punishment that would destroy anything less. Brutal sun, dust storms, river crossings, the sweat of horses, the constant flex and stress of daily hard use. Leather in that world either stayed conditioned or it cracked and failed, and when it failed, men got thrown from horses, boots fell apart in the middle of nowhere, and equipment gave out at the worst possible moment. The ranchers and the saddle makers of that era did not have a leather care industry to turn to. They had what was available. And what was available was the rendered fat from cattle hooves and shin bones, a natural oil that had been produced as a byproduct of cattle processing since the earliest days of the American livestock industry. They called it Neat's Foot Oil. Neat is an Old English word for cattle. And these ranchers discovered that when you worked this oil into dried, stiffened leather, something remarkable happened. The leather came back. Not partially, not superficially. It came back from the inside, regaining suppleness, flexibility, and strength that looked and felt like new. Your grandmother already knew this. She used it every single day. Not necessarily on furniture, but on leather shoes, on leather belts, on the leather harnesses in the barn if she grew up on a farm. Neat's Foot Oil was a household and farm staple across rural America from the late 1800s through the mid-20th century. Every general store stocked it. Every cobbler used it. Every person who worked with leather knew its name. It was as unremarkable and essential as machine oil or linseed oil. It was just the thing you used. Until the leather care industry decided that was a problem. Because here is what happened. After World War II, the American consumer economy exploded. Suddenly there was money in selling people solutions to everyday maintenance problems they had always solved themselves. The leather goods industry saw an opportunity. They could take the basic science of leather conditioning, which had been understood and practiced for over a century, wrap it in modern branding, add synthetic compounds, fragrance, colored packaging, and a high price tag, and sell it back to the American consumer as a premium product. And it worked. Oh, it worked beautifully for them. By the 1970s and 1980s, leather conditioning had become a branded category. Products with names designed to sound scientific and proprietary: Leather Honey, Lexol, Chemical Guys, Leather Conditioner, Hide Food. Some of these products are not bad. I want to be clear about that. Some of them actually work reasonably well. But here's the truth they all share. The active mechanism in every single one of them, the thing that actually penetrates leather fiber and restores flexibility, is an oil. A fatty acid oil that works by the same biological and chemical principle as Neat's Foot Oil. The difference is that Neat's Foot Oil costs $3 and their products cost $30 to $80 per bottle. And you need to keep buying those bottles every few months because they have been formulated to condition temporarily rather than permanently. That repeat purchase is not an accident. It is the entire business model. You have been paying 30 times more for a worse version of a $3 solution for your entire adult life. And the leather industry has been counting on you not figuring that out. That anger you feel right now, it is the correct response. Because while you were throwing away cracked leather furniture and paying upholstery shops $3,000 to reupholster car seats, this $3 bottle was sitting on a shelf 30 minutes from your house, waiting, working perfectly, being completely ignored because an industry decided its existence was inconvenient for their profit margins. Let me tell you exactly what is happening at the molecular level when leather dies, because once you understand this, you will never look at a cracked leather couch the same way again. And you will understand precisely why neatsfoot oil does not just condition leather, it resurrects it. Leather is animal hide that has been processed to stabilize the protein fiber structure. The primary structural component of leather is collagen, tightly woven protein fibers that give leather its strength, its flexibility, and its characteristic feel. When leather is new, those collagen fibers are lubricated by natural oils that were present in the original hide. Those oils keep the fibers sliding smoothly against each other, which is what gives leather its suppleness. Bend a piece of new leather and it moves like fabric. The fibers shift, flex, and return, but over time, those natural oils evaporate. Heat accelerates it. Sunlight accelerates it. Low humidity accelerates it. Air conditioning in your car or home, which strips moisture from everything it touches, accelerates it dramatically. As the oils disappear, the collagen fibers begin to dry out. They stop sliding against each other and start grinding. They become brittle. They crack at the microscopic level first, tiny fractures in individual fibers that you cannot see yet but that are already weakening the structure. Then those microscopic cracks spread and connect. And eventually, you see what you see on your couch, your car seats, your jacket, that network of visible surface cracks that looks like drought-baked earth. That is not surface damage. That is structural failure happening from the inside out. What neatsfoot oil does at the molecular level is direct and profound. The fatty acid chains in neatsfoot oil, primarily oleic acid and palmitic acid, are small enough in molecular size to penetrate between the collagen fibers of the leather. They do not sit on the surface the way a wax or a silicon-based product does. They go in, they move between the protein fibers, and reestablish the lubricating layer that was lost to evaporation. The fibers can slide against each other again, and the brittleness reverses. The leather becomes flexible. And because neatsfoot oil is a stable, long-chain fatty acid rather than a volatile compound, it does not evaporate quickly. One deep treatment penetrates and stays. That is what permanently means in this context, not a coating that wears off, a restoration of the internal lubrication that leather needs to function. The leather care industry cannot patent oleic acid. They cannot patent palmitic acid. They cannot put a trademark on a rendered cattle oil that has existed for centuries. So instead, they buried it. They formulated products with synthetic carriers, added preservatives that extend shelf life while shortening the conditioning effect, used marketing language like deep conditioning complex and protein renewal technology to make you believe their chemistry was doing something fundamentally different and superior. It was not. It is not. The mechanism is the same. The molecule doing the work is the same family of fatty acid. The difference is entirely in the packaging, the branding, and the zero that gets added to the price. Every year you own leather furniture, leather car seats, a leather steering wheel, leather boots, or leather jacket, and you do not know about neatsfoot oil, costs you money. Not just the $30 bottle of conditioner you buy twice a year. The real cost is the leather you throw away that could have been restored. The reupholstery job you paid a shop to do because you thought the leather was beyond saving. The new couch you bought because the old one looked dead and you did not know it was one $3 treatment away from looking brand new. Across a lifetime of home ownership and car ownership, that ignorance cost the average American thousands of dollars, quietly and visibly. Exactly the way the industry designed it. If you've made it this far, you already know more than 99% of homeowners in America. So here is exactly how you do this, step by step. No guesswork. Step 1, assess and clean your leather. Before you condition, the surface needs to be clean. Use a damp cloth, plain water, and wipe down the entire leather surface to remove dust, body oils, and surface grime. For heavily soiled leather, mix a few drops of dish soap into a cup of water, dampen your cloth, and wipe gently. Do not soak the leather. You are cleaning the surface, not washing it. Let it dry completely, at least 1 hour at room temperature. Do not use heat to speed drying. Heat is what killed the leather in the first place. Step 2, warm your neatsfoot oil slightly. This is the insider detail that most people skip, and it makes an enormous difference. Set your bottle of pure neatsfoot oil in a bowl of warm water for 5 to 10 minutes before application. Warm oil has lower viscosity. It flows more easily and penetrates the collagen fiber structure significantly deeper than cold oil. This is the difference between surface conditioning and true restoration. You want restoration. Step 3. Apply with a lint-free cloth. Pour a small amount of warmed neat's foot oil onto a clean, lint-free cloth, not a paper towel, which can leave fibers, and not a sponge, which absorbs too much product. Work in circular motions over a small section at a time. You want to see the oil going in. The leather will darken as it absorbs. Do not panic about the darkening. On most leather, it is temporary and lightens as the oil cures. On very dry, very light-colored leather, test a hidden area first. But on brown, tan, black, or any dark leather, apply without hesitation. Step 4. Let it absorb for 30 minutes, then apply a second coat. 2 coats is the minimum for leather that shows visible cracking. For severely damaged leather, deep cracks, stiff sections, areas that feel almost cardboard-like, apply a 3rd coat and let it sit overnight. You will see the transformation happening in real time. Sections that were rigid will become flexible. Cracks will visibly close as the collagen fibers rehydrate and swell back toward their original position. This is not a cosmetic trick. This is the leather structurally recovering. Step 5. Buff and finish. After your final coat has absorbed for at least 4 hours, take a clean, dry cloth and buff the surface in long, smooth strokes. This removes any excess oil sitting on the surface and brings up a natural low sheen. The leather should feel soft, warm, and alive. If you still feel sticky residue, buff longer. If certain areas still feel stiff, apply one more targeted coat to those sections only and wait another 2 hours before buffing again. Step 6. Protect what you just restored. Neat's foot oil handles the biological restoration. For leather surfaces that take heavy daily use, car seats, sofas, steering wheels, after your Neat's foot treatment is fully cured, apply a thin coat of pure beeswax or a basic leather wax over the top. The Neat's foot feeds the leather from inside. The beeswax seals and protects the surface from the friction and UV exposure that will begin drying it out again. Together, that combination is what professional leather restoration services use, minus the $3,000 invoice and the markup on every product they apply. The total cost of everything I just described to you is under $10. The leather couch that a furniture store told you was beyond saving and tried to charge you $4,000 to reupholster, $10 and an afternoon of your time. The car seats your dealership quoted you $1,800 to replace, $10. The leather jacket that a restoration service wanted $400 to treat, $10. Share this video. Not because I am asking for views, because right now someone in your life is about to throw away a leather couch. Someone is about to pay a detailing shop $2,000 to restore their car interior. Someone is sitting in front of a browser window getting quotes on reupholstery and feeling sick about the numbers. Send this to them. Every share keeps alive what the industry tried to erase. Every person who watches this is one more wallet the leather care industry cannot empty with impunity. $3. Permanent restoration. 150 years of buried knowledge now back in your hands. The next secret opens soon, and I promise you, what they buried next makes this look like a minor footnote.